What's up, YouTube? Come on over. zzzoom.us/ja/77449820. That's where the stream is. Yoga retreat starts same time, 9:15. No, I'll be putting out the schedule. It doesn't start at 9:15 tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to start probably 4 p.m. Pacific. And then Saturday and Sunday we'll have morning sessions, which will probably be like 7:30. I'm thinking 7:30 to 9:30, California. More than 2 hours is ridiculous. But an hour and a half often leaves things wanting. I usually just, when I teach it, I aim for an hour and a half, and then I usually go a little over, and then we have enough time for a nice Savasana. Which I'm telling you, that's where it's all at. It's the whole yoga experience. That's why the talk today. I just knew Savasana or how to relax. I don't think that would have, it wasn't as exciting as the title as Beautiful Soul to me. That's a really exciting title because it's really one and the same thing. Right. YouTube, feel free to come over to Zoom. You don't have to keep watching there or keep watching there, but share it. Share it if you're just going to keep watching it there. Make sure you like. I'm sharing it to Facebook and my screenshot, like the thumbnail, it just automatically takes a screenshot. I don't look like a beautiful soul. It's a very ugly screenshot. No, it's like, come to my beautiful soul, everybody. I'm like, oh man, this is a really good part of the song. Jose Alberto, see, people are still streaming in, so we'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes. I think that's about the end of the climax of this beat. That's all I wanted to hear. I know this part of the dig. This is where you're so fucking tired from holding that drone that now you're just like making mouth sounds to like while you catch your breath. Okay. It's on this one. Oh, it's about to be more. Okay, here we go. Recording. Make sure it's the right mic. It is. It is. Okay. Record to computer. Welcome, everyone. Science of Spiritual Growth podcast. I'm Yogi Chris, PhD, founder of Ninth Limb Yoga. You're seeing this streaming on my yoga YouTube, but definitely still share it. If you're catching the recording, definitely subscribe and follow. And there's probably a link somewhere that you can get more involved. Like find me on Instagram, Yoga Bliss Chris, or at ninthlimb.com. That's the number 9thlimb.com. So this is a beautiful soul. And a beautiful soul is something I hear a lot of spiritual people say. They throw it out. And, oh, she was a beautiful soul. He's a beautiful soul. Like, how the hell do you know that? Do you see souls? Are you a soul seer? Are you just saying that you like them? Are they a beautiful personality? Like, how do you see their soul? When you come to know your own soul, you'll see that you can't even see your own soul. One way I like to think of the word soul, S-O-U-L, is S-O-L-E. There's many ways. You could think S-O-L, like the sun. You could think soul, like the sole of your foot or sole of your shoe. I think soul as in a sole proprietor, meaning solo, soul, solo. It's the one God, but your vantage point from it. And that is within you, behind your mind and emotions and body. When you learn to relax, which is like yoga, you go into Savasana, this thing at the end. Oh boy, I had such a profound experience. I just recalled it right now. I was laying in Shavasana. If you don't know about this posture, this is, yoga postures. You stretch your body, you're breathing. It's really sensational for your whole muscles, all your nervous system, and you're pushing oxygen. It's different. I played a lot of soccer, wrestled for years in university. I wrestled, and I did all kinds of hiking and exercise. I was a state champion cross country runner, so I was a good runner, and I did all kinds of things here and there, baseball. And then I got into yoga, right? There's something different about the breathing synchronized with the stretching. Like I would run long distance or bicycle long distance, synchronizing your breathing with the repetitive movement. It's almost like if you just focused on that, you would carry your body further than if you tried to focus on your arms swinging and your legs swinging. And even in martial arts, as I get into jiu-jitsu, but even in wrestling, there wasn't too much focus on the breathing, but as I look at it and as I practice, it was there. The exhale propels you, the inhale rejuvenates you, and you do it almost in times of safety, right? So we do this stretching and breathing routine that exacerbates the physical system. Let's get you guys a definition for that right there. Exacerbate, definition. Okay, that's not the right word. I used the wrong word. Let's just say exhaust. Wow, that was the wrong word. Okay, let's go back to exhaust. Extremely weary, wear out. To deplete. You deplete the body of its restlessness, deep restlessness, because when you go into some of these stretches, regardless of how flexible you are, you're going to go deeper. There's surface muscles, and it's not really like a medium layer, but the muscles are layered on top of each other in your body. And there's some deeper ones that you really only get to in a really sincere way, meaning like you're trying to get them and you can do it on both sides. When the surface muscles relax, you got to relax the surface muscles to get deeper in the pelvis and the shoulder, the spine. And there's a lot of sensation there. There's a lot of mental imagery that you can stir up by stimulating your nervous system, because that's where the mental imagery, like how do you process mental images is your nervous system. Like that's how you see your mind. Your nervous system is the wiring of the software program. This computer has wiring and it's running software, and I could see images on the computer. I could run a whole program. I could do math. I could write. It's even a touch screen, so I could write and draw. That's like the mind almost. And the nervous system would be like the circuitry. And the power, the electricity, is the energy we take from eating. And how corroded is your machine, and how much do you clean it? How much do you upgrade its software? And even its hardware, really. Because once the machine is all used up, the software lives on. The software transcends. That would be like your mind. Once the software goes out, well, the only thing that would still exist would be whatever residue still exists of how you influenced future generations of computers and future generations of software. The imprint lives on, even if the name doesn't. Maybe the name does. There are some names that go back a long time. And then where is you in that? There's the body, there's the mind, but where am I? Oh man, it's a question that I don't even know that I really ask myself that much. But when I realized I wasn't my mind and I wasn't my body, but I still exist. I exist even when I see my own mind and body as separate from me. And I realized that was solving an unresolved almost nervousness. It's like that existential, it's that midlife crisis people come to when they realize they're going to die. They've lived out half their life and they want to change it up now. But now it's like starting over, but they're half their life. So it's this crisis of mortality. that you go through daily if you practice yoga like I do. And you lay in Shavasana, and like this AM, I'm looking at my face. My eyes are closed. I do all the stretching. I'm exhausted. I lay down. Now I'm practicing relaxing. You would think that you just stretched it out, so relaxation is just like you just fall limp. But it's amazing how much muscles are still holding. They're holding from the effort of doing your yoga. But then, if you can have patience, which I didn't have patience in the beginning, I was just tired. For the first year, it probably took me a good 9 or 10 or 12 months or whatever of practicing yoga pretty consistently and intensely so that I was well exhausted when I'm done. It took me a year of doing that to really start to appreciate Shavasana, that the ending is different, but it's like, it's everything. If you took an ingredient out of the cake, what would happen to the cake? Depends on the ingredient. Take the one that makes it rise. Like, as you relax, the body relaxes, you start to see that, okay, there's some muscles that need to let go because of I was using my muscles to lift and stretch and yank and whatever. Yank's not a good word to use for really yoga, but you know what I mean. As that relaxes, you'll see that some of it you're not able to relax, and you'll try. And the effort of trying makes other things grip. Okay, another thing that might happen. You'll let it go, but then you'll notice you're thinking things. And you'll notice that your body grips to some of the thoughts that come up. This is where a lot of people quit, actually, in Shavasana. They can't last because the thoughts, there's too many. And they're overwhelmed. So you didn't breathe enough in your yoga practice, I don't think, if that happens. And just wait. Just wait. They won't last. It will pass. And it will slow down. And as it slows down, you'll notice the rate of images that come to mind slows down. Still, you'll get sidetracked on movies, little movies of your mind, daydreams, and you'll get swept up. You'll even enjoy it, but then you'll realize, man, I used up all of my Shavasana time daydreaming, and I don't feel as relaxed as I want to be because your body was reacting to your daydream. Just like at night, your body reacts to your night dream. But you don't have control over it. In fact, you're less conscious than when you're daydreaming, so you have even less control. So if you're going through a not pleasant dream, you might wake up and your body doesn't feel good. All right, so Shavasana, you did your stretches, you lay down, you're observing your mind. It's popping up, it's going. It's popping up, it's going. It's flowing, it's staying, it's doing stuff that you're not having anything to do with. Now this is where, as soon as you notice that, oh, you're looking at your mind. Oh, that's my mind. Your eyes are closed. Maybe if you're like me, it's before sunrise, so it's dark out. So anything I see is my mind. Any colors, it's my mind. Any pictures, it's my mind. Any sounds, it's my mind. I turn off the space heater. Any sounds, it's my mind. I mean, maybe there's some outside, whatever. But so Shavasana, it's almost like that sense deprivation tank. So I haven't done it, but I do it every day. That's what yoga is. These things that are, how quiet can you make your mind? How deep into trance can you go, but still alert? Do I think that if somebody stormed into my room that I would be ready to snap up, to jump up? I heard a yogi tell a story of doing yoga in his tent in Africa, and he heard a lion. And he thought, good thing I'm doing yoga. What a time to practice fearlessness in my warrior pose. That was the best warrior pose I ever did. Because what are you going to do? Stop breathing? I don't know. I guess you do that. Live in panic. Maybe. I don't know if he did maybe one of us, we try that. We think we're cool. And then the lion knows we're there and attacks us. It's like the monk, Thich Nhat Hanh, or whatever his name was, whatever that guy's name was, that lit himself on fire, self-immolation. And he didn't move, and he sat there, and he burned for 15 minutes protesting a war in Cambodia or something, until his corpse fell over and it all burned to ashes. They poured gasoline on him. That's how he lit himself. And his heart supposedly didn't burn. Everything burned. But supposedly his heart didn't burn. He didn't move. He sat there. Wow. That brought global attention to communism invading Cambodia. And a bunch of people tried self-immolation after that and wounded themselves and died of their wounds and they screamed and yelled. And they didn't have what it took to do that. So there's a mimicry. Like, I forgot how I got on that, but as you relax in Savasana, you'll see the mind happening. It'll be more clear to you. Just relax through it. Just keep going through it. You will settle down and you'll realize a state of relaxation more deep than you've ever really consciously felt on the other side of that drama. And then get ready. Another drama's coming. It comes in waves. On the other side of that next mental storm, deeper relaxation. At some point, you'll get to your limit. This is where you build up, like if you see people that meditate a long time, they can't start on 6 hours. You build up your tolerance to go through these deeper, more subtle energy fluctuations of your mind, the stormy mind. Disturbed mind is what they call it. Chitta vikshepa, disturbed mental thoughts. So, which we're on a suppressive planet. Like we control each other by being very negative and threatening and toxic. It's a prison planet. So the language here, whatever, man. As you relax and you see your mind, here's what I do. As soon as I notice that I start, this is the phrasing of it, is like you get involved with it. As you start to get involved with your mind and you notice that, oh, my body's going along for a ride as I observe the movie. That's where you ask yourself, who's looking at this thought? Who is looking at this thought? Who's looking? If you're not a thinking person, a visual person, maybe you're more a feeling person, and the feeling comes up in your chest or belly or in your arm, and you're like, internally, who's looking at this feeling? Who is looking at this feeling in my body? Who's looking at my body? My mind is looking at my body. Okay, who's looking at my mind? Then that's when you realize that your body is in your mind. And looking at your body internally is looking at your mind at your body. Your mind is looking at your body, you're looking at your mind. And a beautiful soul lies behind the mind. The viewer, that's why there's no looking at it. As soon as there's something to see, that's your mind. It's an image. You are the viewer of your mind, which is not a thing, but how else do we talk about it? So that's where you get the philosophy of dualism versus non-dualism. Dualism is you are a self, you have a self, you are a self, you don't have a self. You are a self and you have a mind and body. You are the self, the true Atman, the soul. You have a soul. Non-dualism is there is no self, that's an illusion. There's no thing. You are the experience, you're not the experiences you have. They just come and go. And when they're done, what residue is in your mind may carry on as karma or whatever, but when you completely dissolve your karmas and burn all the seeds of your karma, then your essence, which is non-essence, returns to the source, which is not source. It's not a thing. Source is not a thing. It's confusing, but I get it. It's you got to do like word poetry to somehow talk about a thing and then negate its existence. That's non-dualism. Dualism is we're not going to try to negate that thing, but we're going to admit that it's not a thing. It's absurd, really. And in the West, we say you have a soul. The problem is the West philosophies maybe don't acknowledge reincarnation that much. And maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. It doesn't matter. I know that this morning I'm laying in Shavasana. I'm relaxing deeper and deeper and deeper, sinking into the floor. Long Shavasana. It's like a 60-minute Shavasana or something. And I'm aware. I'm alert. I actually made the decision to not keep pushing in my yoga stretches because I was just starting to get a little tired. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a longer Savasana. And I start scanning my face, the bone, the skull structure. And I see my face as a skull, but from behind, like I see the skull, and I see my body as a skeleton. And I literally see my body as a corpse decaying after I'm dead. Like imagine your own mind, you're in your body, but it's dying and it's with, and it's just, but you're still the youthful, you. It's still you, because you at 60 is still you now. Because you now is you from when you were 16. It's still you, you're just more aware, which is really your mind, because how much of that, you know what, let me take that back. Understanding is in the mind. Awareness is almost, it's like when the mind gets out of the way. When the mind comes in the way, that's different from what's really happening. What's really happening, the mind is perceiving the world and you're perceiving your mind. So we are aiming for a clear seeing where the mind is clear and we go right through it and just perceive the world. So awareness is actually no mind there, but direct perception. Versus I understand something, so logically I can put it all together so I can stand under my logic and the bridge won't fall on me. Okay? So a beautiful soul. It is beautiful. It's glorious. When you look at your mind and you see it and you notice who's looking at this, who's looking at this mind, your mind will shut up. As it tries to answer, it looks for what doesn't exist and can't be described. It keeps looking for what's looking at it. You're relaxed, you're laying down, the images come to mind. They're slowing down as you relax more and more. Now you have moments of pause actually in between thoughts, so that you actually notice the bubbling up of a thought from somewhere, who knows where. And you'll notice your attention gets grabbed by the thought and you'll let it go. Another thought will come up, it'll grab your attention, let it go. Some will grab your attention, hold it, take you for a whirlwind, maybe eventually let it go. Some, it doesn't even grab your attention. You're so practiced that as thoughts come up, they still come. You can't even stop it, but you can relax the body before the thought energy pulls it like a puppet. You're puppeted through life by your mind. Your mind is puppeting you through life. And where did you design your mind? Oh, it was handed to you at 18, pre-designed for you. When did you wake up to the fact that your mind, you didn't make it for what you want in life? You got to remake it. And now we get to the core theme of the retreat, and what this podcast is shape shifting. How do you shift shape to do that thing everybody's trying to do? Attract all their goals and dreams with zero effort. Right? It doesn't have to be effort in that sense, an internal resistance. My voice just went really high. The external, yeah, there's elbow grease involved, whatever that is. But internally, how much trust and faith do you have in your form? In your form. Like Donald Trump going bankrupt, starting over. But internally, did he go bankrupt? It's just the external dollars ran out. I know what it's like to run ads and the ads run out, but if you just had 10 more K involved and they kept running, it would have hooked somewhere. Once it hooks, you just got to get that hook somewhere. You know how it works. That's just that. On that level, he's like 100,000 times higher level financially, or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know the numbers. So the internal bounces back because it never changed. It was the internal of growth. How do I connect people? How do I communicate? How do I sell? How do I create? And versus the person that wins the lottery doesn't have the internal for money. So it just drains away like, I don't know, pouring a swimming pool on a rock. It just pours off of it. You don't have a container for that. It's not designed to hold that amount of energy. So we must reshape, our bodies, our nervous systems, and our minds. And it's possible, but we want to start from relaxation. Otherwise, we carry the residue of prior creation, of prior imprints. Now, it's a lofty goal. It's an idealistic, but that's what we're going for. Each day I die again. Consciously, I relax to the point of I feel as if I might let go of this whole life. And then I come back and I get up and, whoa, what a shift in perspective. Now you don't have time for toxic negativity because you just saw your death and you just got a second chance. Now, that doesn't mean you don't get triggered. People around you don't get triggered. You don't care about people. So there's a difference, right? Leaders, followers, what are you going to do for the whole tribe, for yourself? If you incapacitate yourself, a lot of people may rely on you. So now we need discernment. This is different levels of wisdom that come on top of that. The spiritual wisdom that you're a self will take you very far in life and will give you a lot of fortitude and confidence in that you know what's best for you because you actually are in touch with you, capital Y, you, behind the mind. So it's a spiritual strength. But the mind is still going to push and pull and yank you. And, the life triggers us because just because we acknowledge the self and we touch it sometimes, or we connect with it, we identify from it. As soon as we engage with life again, we're in the realm of the mind. And our mind was designed by our parents and people that coerced us to get us to behave the way they wanted. And so we grow up like the elephant chained that was a baby chained to the pole. As an adult, it never breaks the chain. So we need to shape shift and realize more of our potential. It starts from relaxing and then creating. And creation is a different subject. That's a lot of what I do in the silent flute. Relaxation, I tell you, everybody, I'm very excited. Everybody that's coming live to this retreat, there are 4 people coming live. There's a bunch of people sign up online. More people are going to be signing up online. If you're interested, send me a message, Yoga Bliss Chris, or you know how to contact me. If you catch the recording, then you catch the next retreat too. I mean, there's recordings for the retreat. You can hit me up for that too if you like. But I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot to offer, right? The core theme of all of these people are going to leave, not necessarily leave more relaxed, because that's to say that they're going to go to the airport and be more relaxed. They will likely leave more relaxed, when they arrive. But at some point, probably a few points throughout the retreat, they're going to access calm stillness, alert, calm stillness, and get closer and closer to themselves and more discerning of what is not themselves in their mind, which it brings a lot of emotions, good and bad. There's a bliss. That's what yoga bliss is. Like, it's not just my name. It's a term in yoga bliss, Yogananda. Yogananda is yoga bliss. So it brings a kind of spiritual bliss, even if it brings a kind of mental anguish when we realize we're not the things we identified so tightly with. These are just words until you unidentify with them. And so you'll leave with a new imprint, a new reference or new standard of what calm alertness is. And this will make you more a master of your destiny. And of course, the silent flute, we do a lot of creation there. That's what happens in the silent flute. So go to ninthlimb.com for that. Send me a private message for the retreat. And I'll end the recording here. Stick around, answer any questions. See you next time, everybody, from the viewer behind my mind to the viewer behind your mind. Namaste. All right. Are there any questions about the retreat or about the recent Complete Practices product I put out or anything like that? Or anything I said, really? Questions or comments? I'll play this.
Yogi Chris, where can I purchase the product?
The product, I'll put the link back up on my Instagram, And it's also, I've made some posts about it recently. It's on my website on the shop page, 9th Limb Shop. It's the most recent product. Roger, Roger. He's about to get really good on the stage. If you guys got any questions, go for it. Let me check out YouTube, see if YouTube's got any. I don't see any questions. Bunch of people watching on YouTube. Guys, come to Zoom. Come to the retreat. When I posted that video on YouTube promoting my product, a bunch of people on YouTube acted on it. So I guess I still got audience there. You're welcome, Kat. Always appreciate that. Is this too glary if I open this? I really want to catch sunlight while it's happening. Oh, I hear Fernando's in the tent. Adrian, yes, I noticed that happening when I do transcendental meditation. Yes, yes, yes. TM, Savasana and TM go very, very well together. So the guys that are on the Lions Den Beast process, TM is a process of relaxing your body while you observe your mind and say a mantra to yourself that has no meaning. So you can't think about the meaning. It's passed down teacher to student, so you try to fake it, but I don't think that's it. I wouldn't advise it. And again, we have a tolerance, and your ability to relax will allow you to shed surface thoughts faster and access deeper disturbed thinking patterns. It's patterns of thinking. That's what we're hacking. Your behaviors, the key codes to any destination in life are the individual's behaviors. The passcodes to get anywhere in life are one's behaviors. What do they do consistently? How do they respond? What's their habitual response? Their habits, their disciplines, whatever these words are that describe what a person, how they habitually react when they're not thinking. This determines where you go. So it will always be horsepower you must exert over your mind if you're going against your subconscious mind. And this is, a lot of people are fatigued by resisting themselves. Relax, relax, relax. As you become conscious of your decisions that you're making unconsciously, you'll stop making those decisions. But you must become aware that you are actually on a level deciding to do that. Any question where you ask yourself, why do I always do that? Or why does this always happen? On some level, you are choosing it. You just must relax to get to that level. And a teacher helps guide your mind there too, because everybody avoids pain and goes towards pleasure. So we don't like to look at our faults. It doesn't feel good. And this is why a teacher is a sacred role, because the teacher keeps pointing your attention to your faults. So it's very easy to blame the teacher for your negative feelings about it. Same thing with the boyfriend, or the leader of a relationship. You learn your faults, and that made it not feel good. So the leader's plight is, well, they don't feel good around me, and then they stop following, and then I'm always. So how do you make your people feel good as you bring them up? I'm learning this. I'll still get better and better. I think that's part of the code. If you could do that, you can grow your following. And then how far you lead them, though, depends on your logic and your system. Is it real? If you just make them feel good, you'll get a big following. Come on. We could all think of spiritual teachers or dating coaches or self-help development people that just make their people feel good when they're there. But do they develop? What's their life like outside of that? I just saw a video of myself from not long ago. Oh my God. And then I just released this product, right? So I cut a lot of videos out that were older, or my delivery was different. It's only 3 years old. I'm like, holy hell, what the development here. It's very important to document yourself. For sure, for sure. You can steer your evolution like your hand on the helm a little bit better. if you can see how you've been communicating and acting. So that's just me talking a lot. Is there anything else before I get going? I've been on it for a while. It's about a 25-minute show. After the retreat, I'm going to reschedule the silent flute. Right now, it's lectures on Mondays, and I was doing Saturdays, but then I started doing daily yoga. I'm really liking teaching yoga, but I'd like to teach more, like longer, like a 45-minute class maybe. Considering that, but I don't know that I want to do that every day. I think I'd give it away too much. I may just do it for my Telegram groups and not, but I want to promote it to my newsletter. I should, how do I do that? Maybe I just do it for the Telegram groups, and then for Instagram, I just tell people, message me about Telegram. Stop making it so free and open like that. Start narrowing it down. I could see it going like that for like an evolution. I just grow the Telegram. And then eventually I'll make my daily classes like a subscription thing. But I want to give a lot of value and get people up to where I'm at, because, I mean, to be real, it's not even close. All right. For example, Robert Bustani's been teaching yoga for 55 years. He lives in Houston. That's closest thing to my Hatha yoga teacher, him and David Guri. And Simon Borg, but I haven't met Simon. I've just studied his stuff intently. Like, I'm really good at his stuff. And gauging on how I am around David and Robert, I'm probably boss at Simon's stuff also. Because around Robert, he's got all this following, all these people, but nobody quite, like, there's something different when I step into the room and I practice and I follow him. Like, I know what I'm doing, right? And he acknowledges that, and he says it in certain ways, and it's beautiful. And it's, we earn these things, and then, there's more. There's probably a big humbling experience in my future where I think I'm the hot shit, and then I've realized I'm not, or something. It doesn't really matter. But when I want to expand on my language for yoga, and that means a listening audience that comes up with me, that knows these things. So I'll just keep chipping away at that. In 20 years, maybe it'll be, something where you all have students too, because that's where it reaches critical mass. When the people that follow you have people following them, then there's a lot of motivation to keep growing. You know what I mean? All right. Anything else? Check YouTube one last time. Ooh, bunch of likes. All right, everybody. That's all for this stream. Thank you, and we'll